Beautiful women, I want to ask you a question that may sit with you long after this video ends. What if the reason marriage has not yet arrived is not because you are unworthy of love, but because there is a version of you that God is still preparing to carry it? You actually may be loving, loyal, accomplished, nurturing, beautiful, intelligent, and deeply intentional about your future. You may have spent years becoming the woman you once prayed to be, but none of those things automatically answer the question, am I prepared to become a wife? Because being a good woman and being a prepared wife are not the same thing, and it's not the same identity. A good woman can desire love. A prepared wife understands the responsibility attached to it. A good woman can attract a man. A prepared wife knows how to discern the life connected to him. A good woman can dream about a marriage. A prepared wife begins developing the capacity to sustain what happens after the wedding. This is not about making you feel inadequate. It's about helping you recognize that wifehood is not a title a man gives you at the altar. It is an identity you begin developing long before he arrives. And I know this because it's what my mom drilled into me growing up. You were taught how to become successful, but were you taught how to become a wife? Many of us were taught how to become independent, educated, financially secure, and capable. Those qualities are valuable, but marriage asks a different question. It does not simply ask whether you know how to stand alone. It reveals whether you know how to become one with another person without disappearing, competing, or remaining trapped in self-protection. You can be highly successful and still struggle to receive. You can be deeply loving and still struggle to trust. You can also be emotionally intelligent in every other area of life and still become defensive whenever partnership exposes an area you have yet had to surrender. Wifely qualities are cultivated. They do not automatically appear because you desire marriage. Many women do not discover what they have not developed until they are already emotionally attached. We've all been there before. You may know how to date, but do you know how to discern? Or what I like to call vet. Many women know how to recognize chemistry, but very few know how to discern the future attached to a man. Many women ask, does he like me? Will he pursue me? Is he serious about me? Far fewer women ask, who is this man becoming? What governs his decisions? What does his life produce? Is this a future I could responsibly participate in? Attraction can tell you that you want a man. It cannot tell you whether you understand the life that comes with him. Future wives do not simply hope to be chosen. They carefully discern what they are being chosen into. That leads me into the point of how marriage requires more than love. There are endless conversations about what a husband should provide, how he should lead, and how he should pursue. Those things matter, but very few conversations ask a woman who she is preparing to become inside a covenant. Marriage is not sustained by attraction, it is sustained by patience, emotional maturity, humility, self-control, and the ability to remain committed long after the excitement fades. Many women prepare for the moment they are chosen, the wedding, the reception, all those things, but very few prepare for the woman they must remain after being chosen. This leads me to the point that your independence may actually be self-protection. A lot of us operate in hypervigilance. There is an independence that comes from confidence, and there is an independence that comes from disappointment. One says, I am capable. The other says, I will never need anyone enough to be hurt again. Which one do you think is not the healthiest? From the outside, they can look identical, but internally, they are completely different. Sometimes a woman says she wants a man who can lead, yet she has never learned how to trust leadership without fearing she will lose herself. Preparation for wifehood goes much deeper than learning how to appear feminine. It requires healing the parts of you that only know how to survive alone. That leads me into marriage being stewardship. Most women think about what they hope to receive in marriage. They want love, they want protection, provision, security, and emotional safety. But marriage will also place things into your hands. Marriage places a man's trust into your hands, his vision, his family, his future, his children. The question becomes whether you have developed the wisdom to steward that access as well. Because wifehood is not simply romance, it is stewardship. And a lot of women do not think of stewardship whenever we're getting married, right? When we're in a relationship, we don't usually think about stewardship. But for me, over the past couple of days, I've been thinking more about legacy and what I actually want to leave behind. And it just made me realize that if you don't have relationships, that becomes impossible, which is why this is so important. If you don't have relationships, you won't have generational wealth, and you surely won't have legacy. So that is the main reason why I even came on here to speak on this. My name is Brooke Taylor. Welcome back to my channel where we celebrate our unique expression of perfection, because God didn't make duplicates. And the moment you compare yourself to someone else, you hand your power away. Let's dive back into the next point. My next point is that the biggest gaps are the ones you cannot see. The most dangerous gaps in our identity are rarely the obvious ones. They are the places where we assume we are prepared because we have never been shown another standard. You may believe you are ready because you love deeply, but do you know how to love without abandoning discernment? You may believe you are ready because you are caring and loyal, but what happens when marriage confronts your pride, your defensiveness, your need for control, or the survival habits that once protected you? You cannot intentionally develop what you have never been taught to identify. My last point is this: wanting marriage does not create the capacity for it. You may sincerely desire a husband. You may pray for him and dream about building a family, but desire can only tell you what you want. It cannot prepare you to carry it. Relationships do not only reveal your beauty, relationships also reveal your training. They expose what happens when expectations are interrupted, when you feel unseen, and when becoming one requires you to move beyond the identity you built while alone. Preparation must begin before attachment, because once emotions become deeply involved, clarity becomes much harder. Beautiful women, this message is not telling you that you are not enough. You are already worthy of love. This is not about your worth. It is about your capacity. There is a difference between wanting the title of a wife and becoming the woman who can faithfully carry it. That is why I created Wives in Training, to share to other women what my mother and grandparents taught me, how a wife literally approaches dating and vetting differently. Because of this, I've never had a bad dating experience. They also taught me how to discern the vision that is attached to the man, how to develop emotional maturity, and how a woman also understands biblical submission. And finally, how she prepares herself for covenant before commitment. Because you cannot close a gap you have never been shown. And you cannot prepare for a role you have never been taught to understand. So before you ask, when will I become a wife? Or you feel lonely, or you're thinking, when is he gonna propose? Or you're tired of being single, ask a deeper question. What kind of wife am I currently becoming now? The answer may reveal that you are much closer than you think, or it may reveal an area that God is still inviting you to develop. It is so important to become a wife before becoming a bride, because generations literally depend on it. I thought every woman had the information that I had, but it didn't take long before I realized that they didn't, especially in today's dating climate. So I wanted to put together something that other women did not have. Maybe the relationship between you and your mom or your grandparents aren't as strong, right? And this is knowledge that every woman deserves, especially a woman who is wanting to date and vet intentionally. And so that is exactly why I created Wives in Training. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.